Same deal. Whoever wants to start. All right, we'll do ladies first,
All right.
especially since you're the only lady at the table.
All right. Well, I first wanted to thank you.
Just, move a little closer. That would be helpful. Thank you.
No problem. Good afternoon. I just wanted to thank Senator Felder and members of the New York State Senate. This one better?
Yeah, you could use both.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for having me here today. My name is Teresa Bosbos. I'm General Counsel for Superbag Operating. We manufacture plastic grocery bags. We have been in business since 1988. We employ 270 employees and support their families as well. Since 2009, we have supplied plastic grocery bags to Wegmans stores here in New York. And unlike what our bags are fully recyclable, and we have a very successful recycling program with them. I'm here to just issue my support for Senate Bill 7336 because of the importance of having uniform legislation in the state. I'm here on behalf of our customers, the grocery stores, as well as our employees. I believe plastic bags are safe, sanitary, reusable, and 100% recyclable. We believe recycling plastic bags is an integral part of our business. The customers ask for it. The grocery stores have asked for post-consumer recycled content. And we have a program called Bag to Life, in which we take the bags back from the DCs, from the stores, and we bring them back to our facility where they are recycled and put into new bags. We recycle, Superbag recycles approximately 30 million pounds of polyethylene film, of which 5 million come from New York. We believe that regulation is best left to the state to assure uniformity, and you should be the ones to determine what is the best solution for New Yorkers. Thank you.
I agree wholeheartedly.
They are recyclable.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Can I speak now?
Yes.
Fine?
Yeah, no, go ahead. Go right ahead.
Okay. If you don't mind,
Senator, you should
I think I have the widest beard.
Let's,
I'm not up to the plastic bag recyclability testimony, so if they want to continue in that
in a
vein.
moment. Go ahead. So
Okay.
this way we won't have any problems. We'll just go from left to right.
Okay, good afternoon, Chairman Felder and committee members. My name is John Feritich. I'm the Director of Loss Prevention with Rainbow Shops. You might know us. We're a 1,100 store chain nationwide. We are started in Brooklyn in 1930. And we remain in Brooklyn to this day. We have 65 stores in the 5 boroughs and over 130 around New York State. We employ over 2,500 people here in New York. When we first received the details of this bill, I have heard today in testimony that retailers, for example, would be enriched by 5 cents. 5 cents charge to customers. Our first response to that, our owner's first response to that, was that we will pay the 5 cents. If our customer, if you could picture a customer coming into the store, not having a bag, and shopping, and coming up to the cash register, and our employee looking at them and asking, "Do you have a bag?" and they say, "Well, no, I don't." Say, "Well, we'll give you one of ours, and we're going to charge you 5 cents." That would not go over very well with our customer. So our ownership did not want to be enriched, rather would burden that cost. That we might have had that thought until maybe our counsel came in the room and fully explained what we were facing here. To our understanding, it wasn't just a 5 cent environmental concern, which we were happy to listen to, but rather a push to get customers to bring their own bags into stores. And at that point, I stood up in the room, along with the hair on the back of my neck, being a loss prevention or security person, and I said, now wait a minute. You're now encouraging everyone on the street to bring some sort of bag into our store. Does the bill indicate it must be 8 inches by 7 inches, this thick? Or does it say that I could wheel in a piece of luggage that you might see in an airport and call that my bag? No one explained or answered that. No one said there is an explanation for it, so I'm even more nervous. We are, as I said earlier, Rainbow Shops. We are a downtown retailer. If you go to the malls, you won't find us. We're on Fulton Street in Brooklyn. We're on Forest Avenue in Staten Island. We're on Main Street in Buffalo. Our customers and our employees are residents of our neighborhoods. I've been with the company 23 years, as I've said, and I've traveled to all our stores. I watch our company grow. Our managers have been with us 15 and 20 years. They're fully dedicated to their store. They treat it like their home. As I visit them, they always say the same thing. I hope my sales are good, and I hope my shrink is low. And what they mean by that is to not gloss over what is obvious. Retailers lose $48 billion a year to shoplifting. It happens. I don't get up in the morning with the position that I have and enjoy that understanding of what I'm about to deal with all day long. I hope it never happens again, because shrinkage or loss is pure cut to profit, cut to cost, and companies close over it. There's no insurance for it like a fire or a flood. And even in our greatest stores, we lose $7,000, $8,000, and $10,000 every 6 months to shrinkage with the greatest of managers and the greatest of staffs. So the age-old process of how we taught ourselves to protect ourselves or inoculate ourselves from shoplifting, especially in the downtown environment, is to have, in some cases, bag checks at the front door. If you might walk into a store on Fulton Street, for example, any store, any mom and pop, they'll say, "May I hold your bag for you as a convenience? Here is a shopping bag for you to use as you walk around our store today. And when you get to the register, we'll flip that over to your bag as you leave." To say now that customers will be able to walk in, and as I exampled earlier, with just about anything, because I haven't heard that this reusable bag is going to be of some certain size or consistency, then we're up against a flood, an unstoppable flood from the professional. I'm not talking about the kleptomaniac or the person who might shoplift for need. Those are all different cases, and we understand them. We understand how it happens. Professionals know exactly what they can do and get away with. We are not Costco, Sam's Club, or the other guy who has someone at the front door with a yellow highlighter checking everything you got on a register tape with what you have in a cart. We couldn't do that. We couldn't stop every customer leaving with a 10-pound black garbage bag who indicates to us that this is his or her shopping bag and say, "Open it up, dump it on the floor. Open up your piece of luggage. Open up whatever you consider your reusable shopping bag. I want to see what you have." We couldn't begin to do that. But this is allowing the person on the outside to come in and do exactly that. And this is going to increase shrinkage, kill stores. Employees will lose jobs if we don't look at that fact or that facet of what this is going to do. Environmentally, we all respect the environment. I try not to litter. We originally thought this was purely environmental. We would take the fee on ourselves if we had to before we dumped it on a customer, but it's not that. It's going to create a wave of loss in our stores, and any store for that matter, and any mom and pop organization that's down with a family that runs a single store. I'm not talking about major retailers who can afford security and police at front doors. It might be a different ball game. Not for someone like us, or not for our next door neighbor who owns a grocery store or a shoe store. I will finish by giving you this, if I can, an example. If you run a shoe store and you open up in the morning, you're the one owner, and you see 100 customers outside, you're probably going to be that very happy individual. And then before you open the gate, if you look down, 50 of them are not wearing shoes, you would rather keep the door closed. Why? Because the odds are against you now. It's not 100 customers, it's 100 different things you have to concern yourself with, and that's basically what's going to happen here. We do not have the employees, we do not have the payroll anymore, with so many fees and things that have changed over, especially the last 12 months, to people employing people, to be able to fight this. And we will be rushed over. Thank you very much.
My turn. Good afternoon. My name is Ken Trottier. I'm the Vice President of Sales for Polypack Industries. Thank you for having us this afternoon. And I have to say, I admire your stamina. I've been sitting here since the beginning, and it's been pretty tiring. But anyway, our company is a plastic bag manufacturer located in Melville, New York. That's on Long Island, about 40 miles east of here. We employ 300 people. We have a 150,000 square foot facility that has been at the same location since 1979. We began our business, before my time, in 1958 on West 35th Street in the Garment Center. So we are a New York company, and despite the financial incentives to leave New York and go to some friendlier state that's cheaper, we've decided to stay in New York and dig our heels in and make a success of ourselves. And we've been in business a long time. I've been with the company personally. This is my 40th year, so I've been there since college. We manufacture plastic bags for a variety of stores, also for overwrap for different types of products. We make shirt bags, we make envelopes for mailing purposes, but retail packaging is a core part of our business. And obviously, laws like this, bans like this, have a negative effect on us and our 300 employees. So the first thing I want to say is that I support what you're trying to do by taking this issue out of the local realm and making it at least a state situation. Part of the problem for my customers is I just had a meeting yesterday at a big appliance dealer. They have retail stores from Providence all the way down to Maryland, but concentrated in the greater New York area. And they called me in, they said, what are we going to do about this New York law? We have to change bags, we have to do this. They had no idea because they just got finished dealing with the Patchogue law and the one in Westport, Connecticut, and their heads are spinning. They're carrying 3 different inventories for different locales. Now they have to add this 5-cent fee to the register because it has to be on the tape in New York City, and they're just like completely confused about what to do. And they look to me, and frankly, I'm pretty confused because I have a national business. So when they say, I guess correctly, that there's over 130 municipalities that have passed some kind of ban or tax, it's true. I can't keep up with it. You know, our company doesn't have those kinds of resources. So it's a problem. It's a very good thing that you're taking this over. Second point I want to make is that I don't think bans or fees go nearly far enough to address the real problem. You know, I'm a boater. I live on Long Island. I'm in Northport Harbor. Last night I was in Northport Harbor. I see garbage in the harbor a lot. Sometimes it's plastic bags, sometimes it's soda cans, water bottles, all sorts of things. People don't act responsibly with litter. They don't take care of things. So this isn't a plastic bag issue, although it's part of the problem, I admit. It drives me crazy when I see a bag in a tree, too. But it also drives me crazy when someone throws a McDonald's bag on my front lawn or leaves a soda bottle laying in the railroad station. You know, that's the big problem. Littering is a huge issue, and there are plenty of laws on the books, I'm sure, that enforce littering laws. If you enforced them, if you made sure garbage containers were always covered, if you made sure the garbage trucks the bags didn't blow away, you'd go a lot further towards helping the environment than putting a simple fee or even a ban on a plastic bag. I forget what I was going to say next. I'm sorry. So, well, I'm not reading my testimony, and that's part of the issue. All right, thank you. Maybe. Oh, never mind. I got it. The other thing is that we have a recycling program. We embraced the New York State recycling program when it was put into effect. In fact, years before that, we had our own system. We made 2 bins, a large floor-standing model and a little countertop model, so our retail customers could have this bin. We gave them away, and we sent them to the retailer, said, please collect the bags. We gave them 3 shipping envelopes, so that when they collected bags, it was pre-addressed to us. All they had to do was stuff all the bags into the envelope and send it back to us. That's been going on for about 10 years. When the New York State law went into effect, we collected lots and lots more bags. And we're still collecting bags. And even today, I got an email from one of our stores, please send more return envelopes for the plastic bags. 30 or 40 would be good. So this program can work. It's just not being encouraged enough. We take 100% of the waste in our factory and recycle it into can liners. Our biggest problem is we don't have enough recyclables. We're not collecting enough. And that's your responsibility, to educate people, to encourage them, to encourage a single-source recycling stream so that someday, Senator Trevino, you will care about my plastic bag company.
Don't take it personally.
Well, I kind of do, I have to say. You know, these laws, these ordinances are completely misguided. They're a diversion. It's a bit of smoke and mirrors. It makes people feel good. And God bless the people from Sierra Club, the Surf Riders. They're all doing great work. I'm not knocking it. But they're looking at this tiny little symbol of the problem and ignoring the 99 of the real issue. And that's what you ought to be dealing with. So thank you for your time.
My name is Eli Amsel. I am the owner of a small plastic shopping bag importing business and distributing in New York City for the past 34 years. I started this business 34 years ago in my parents' basement in Borough Park, Brooklyn. I didn't have any employees at the time. I'm not as big as the last two speakers. But I am a small business in New York City, and as it's well known, small business is the backbone of the United States, across the country, and of course here in New York City. I started this business, as everybody well knows, plastic shopping bags, we sell paper bags too, and other packaging items are very, very heavy. I did all the dragging in and out of my parents' basements for many, many years, driving the van, delivering it to stores across the city, and taking the bags down into the basement for the customers. It's not an easy task starting a small business in New York, as everybody can attest to, because probably most people don't even attempt, because from what I hear, there's a statistic that 70% of small businesses in New York don't make it past the first anniversary. I gave it all I got, and fortunately, over the years, I grew a little bit, and at this point, I employ approximately 14, 15 people in East New York, Brooklyn. When I look back, just on a personal note, where did I get this enthusiasm to try to be an entrepreneur and to try to employ people, pay taxes, and etc.? It came from my grandfather, who, of blessed memory, who was a Holocaust survivor, who actually came to this country in 1949, right here in Ellis Island. And this is just on a personal note. He actually prayed at the congregation House of Aaron, which was run by Rabbi Aaron Felder, Senator Simcha Felder's father. Okay, I'm just looking at the thing. He taught me that you could dream any dream, that the streets of this country were paved in gold, and we could dream a dream of any proportion, like running a small business. And that's why I had this inspiration, and I made it work, and I'm here 34 years later after toiling all of these years. So I had this dream many years ago, and we made it work, and sadly, it's as everybody knows what happened, that they passed this, in my opinion, this irrational law, and obviously and it's also politically motivated, I must add, and it's going to throw me under the bus and throw my 15 employees under the bus, together with approximately about 3,000 other jobs in the city that are involved in this type of industry. Just bear with me. I'm not really a public speaker, so bear with me a second. I spent a lot of time in the past 3 years coming to us since they introduced this law. When Councilmember Brad Lander introduced this law, I spent a lot of times coming here to City Council, fighting to get meetings with the council members and the such. It is really, really difficult. If you just call up, they take messages. They don't. It's a long process, a waste of time if you're a little guy like me. And we don't have time to come to speak to council members. I've called many, many other small businesses in New York City that I'm associated with. None of them want to come, as you can speak to Dana de Blasio in the back. They can't leave their offices because they're working 24/7. This is not a job. This is 24/7, day and night, hoping and praying that you'll please the customers and they'll come back and get repeat business, pleasing employees, trying to get vendors that'll give you the right pricing, good quality. I'm sure you guys can attest to that too. So it's not an easy task, and I took the effort to come down, because when I leave my place, I lose money. because they make mistakes and so on and so forth. But I came and I spoke and I tried, and I spoke to Councilmember Lander, and basically what he told me at the time, I know he had great speeches and nice talking like all politicians, and basically he told me to drop dead. He didn't say it in those words, but that's what it boiled down to. And it's really sad. Like I said, my dream has turned into a nightmare at this point, because from all the statistics and everything, it's going to just bear with me another few minutes. I sat here all day. Let me just say what I got to say. I'm sorry. It's nice of you guys to say so late. It turned into a nightmare, and at this point, with all the statistics that they're saying that in this city went down, this down, basically my business looks like it's going to go downhill and be destroyed with all the hard work that I put into it. And my main question is, after all the speeches, I thought about this and studied this for the past 3 years, trying to analyze what is the purpose, what is the reason, what is the purpose, what are they trying to accomplish? And I thought about it, talked about it, and spoke to this person, went to this council member right up here, downstairs actually, and I came to the conclusion there is no rational answer that they had. And my first main question is I want to understand, there's millions and millions of items that are being produced across the world out of plastic. Why? I want to know, why are they picking up plastic shopping bags, as this gentleman just picked? This is a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of the plastic that's being manufactured in the world today. There's plastic cups, there's plastic spoons, there's forks, there's shrink wrap, there's car parts, airplane parts. The whole world is plastic. Here, that's made out of plastic. So why? The computer mounted there's Pampers, there's women's sanitary napkins, there's condoms, excuse me, many items that are made out of plastic. So why in the world are they picking up plastic shopping bags? And I thought about it. And when I spoke to the people downstairs and the council members, I came to the conclusion that there's only two reasons why they're picking up plastic shopping bags. The first reason is totally not a reason. The reason is, like Council Member Lander, plain and simple, he comes from Park Slope, a very affluent neighborhood. It's a cool, hipster type of thing to walk around with a green bag, so everybody should say, wow, this guy's trying to save the planet. And it doesn't work. You saw the Afro-American community here before. I spoke to them many times. They're basically crying to you and thanking you for introducing the bill. There's so many people being affected in a negative way. Of course, there's always, I mean, I'm not knocking the point that we have to protect the planet. I understand that. I understand that fully. But there's also another equation. It's called human beings and jobs. You turn on the radio, all you hear is jobs, 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 jobs. And here, this angle that these few people and me are sitting here today was totally ignored. All they said is the 5 cents tax, the 5 cents tax, and that's tremendous. I understand that fully. But we're in an industry, and I take offense from Senator Savino. You don't give a damn about the plastic industry. Pardon me, I made an honest living for 34 years. There's thousands of people across this country that are employed from this type of business. And like I said, there's millions of other items. And I feel like I'm being discriminated. There is no rational reason why plastic shopping bags are being singled out besides any other item. There is no reason. And I've heard one thing, and they spoke about it before, and I know I'm at the end. So I went to Council Member Antonio Reynoso, Councilman Lambert, Councilman Chin, Councilman Levine, who, by the way, if I could just say, when I went to Councilman Levine, we were sitting there with Bertha Lewis, who was here before, and 10 other people by the table. And I told him, I said, do you know that the 5 cents is going to the store owner? He says, no, I didn't know that. I said, did you bother reading it? He says, no, I didn't bother reading it. If Brad Lander says it's good, it's good. I got to save the planet. I said, is that a reason to vote for a bill? I mean, it's like haphazard. Nobody cares. They don't think it through for 1 second. For 1 second. These people have jobs. We're in the plastic industry. We didn't sin. We're not selling marijuana. We're not selling drugs.
Let me just clarify.
Yes.
Perhaps it was facetious of me to say that. Certainly we care about your industry. We live in this Twitterverse now world where, as you may not realize this, we are being accused of being in the pocket of the plastic bag industry, as if we only care. And we can honestly say, I've never met any of you folks before.
Right.
Have you ever come to us in Albany and said, save our industry? No. So there are supporters of this policy in the City Council who are trying to insinuate that those of us who are who are supporters of Senator Felder's law,
But
are
you're
only
getting
doing
shared.
this because you are all attempting to influence our vote, which is in fact not the
Not true.
case. And so sometimes rhetoric does get in the way. Let me apologize. Of course, we care about your
Appreciate
industry.
that.
We also care about sound policy. This is not a sound policy. We all agree on that.
All agree. Okay, thank you. I appreciate the apology. If you could just bear with me a few minutes. I sat here for
Not a
about 6
few
hours.
minutes, you'll have to sum it up.
Okay, just give me just
We're
a
going
couple
to treat
minutes.
you just as well as we
Okay.
treat everybody else.
Okay. What I'm trying to say is when I left off, but I appreciate the apology, is that the only other reason they said what they said, and I'm back on track, is that there's this Sims or whatever, this recycling plant, and the eye of the machine cannot pick out the thin plastic shopping bags. First of all, that's total insanity. We're shooting the rockets, with the, to have the Iron Dome that shoots down things in a tenth of a second, and we can't fix a recycler. Come on, give me a break. And that's the point. Senator Lander has a jihad against shopping bags, a craziness. We'll fix the recycler. The world is not coming to an end today. Plastic shopping bags are not blowing hot smoke that are giving people asthma attacks and choking and getting cancer. It's a sanitary, beautiful, 100% recyclable type of thing. We are hardworking human beings. If I could just, I know you're getting nervous. Give you one
I'm
more
not
second.
getting nervous, but I'm gonna
sorry.
cut you
No,
off if you don't
Please give me
conclude.
3 more minutes.
No,
That-
no,
that-
hold on a minute,
yes.
stop. Everybody is getting treated the same way.
But in the morning, people spoke here for a long time.
You'll have to finish.
Yeah, I'm finished. Almost
Wrap it
finished.
up. That's
I
all.
just heard before people were worried about the turtles, people were worried about fish life, and I agree. But I think that we are the human beings of this planet who inhabit this planet, and we need jobs. Turtles don't need jobs. And Mayor de Blasio also, I have one question for him. He cares so much about the horses in Central Park. And he was ready to throw all the drivers, those poor people who were making $10 an hour. And he's supposed to be a progressive liberal, and he cares so much about the poor people amongst us and the unfortunate amongst us. But he was busy with all the horses. Shouldn't I count, and these people and all the people here count as much as horses? I mean, at least as much as horses. I'm not asking for more, just please. And he signed the bill, right? Why? Why? It does not make sense. This is irrational. There's millions and millions of items of plastic shopping bags. The only way to attack this situation is to recycle everything. Please don't discriminate against the plastic industry. We didn't sin. We're honest, hardworking people. We deserve to be treated fairly as much as anybody else. Besides all the reasons that everybody said, I could sit here and talk about it for the next 3 hours. But treat us like human beings. And there's no bags in the trees. I challenge anybody. Let's walk down any street in Brooklyn or Manhattan. I told this to Councilmember Lander when we were there. We were downstairs and
Okay,
looked at the tree.
we're going to go to the next.
Thank you for your effort.
Thank you.
And thank you for all the senators. And please, I beg everybody to please vote for Senator Felder's bill.
Thank you.
And Assemblyman Cusick. You're really doing a great job. God bless you, and I hope you will win.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Hi, good afternoon, Chairman Felder. Thank you very much. Senator Savino, Councilor, thank you very much for this opportunity. My name is Maston Sansom. I'm here on behalf of the Food Industry Alliance, and we represent grocery stores throughout the state, as well as we, of course, have drugstores and wholesalers and things like that. I'd just like to say that we do a lot of recycling from film plastic. We, of course, have most of our stores, if not all, I will say, have bins out front to recycle the bags so people can bring them back. We recycle our plastic wrap, as well as metal, cardboard, bones, everything. So we're really, really good stewards of the recycling laws, and especially with respect to the retail community in general. The grocery industry does take a proactive approach. And what I'd just like to say is that we would support maintaining flexibility for localities to charge a fee if that's the policy option they chose. Again, we're not saying it has to be that way, but to allow them the flexibility to do that. And I'll tell you why. One of our fear really is that, and some municipalities have done this, that they'll ban just plastic, which then shifts everyone to paper. And as you've been told a couple of times, paper is a lot more expensive and arguably has a larger carbon footprint, and so that doesn't really help anyone. We respectfully ask that if there is a ban, or if you preempt the localities with charging any fees, if the state preempts, that included in there you would preempt a ban as well. So the state would then have to act. So whatever they did, of course, the state would be able to still ban anything and charge any fee they wanted, but whatever the decision that was going to be made would be done in Albany, and it would be done on a uniform basis. And of course, as you've heard, there's a patchwork of laws, not only in this state, but across the country. And sure enough, I will get members calling us and saying, oh my gosh, there's a hearing in Patchogue or wherever in a couple hours. What are you guys doing about it? And it's just tough to really keep track of all that stuff. So that's really all that I have. And thank you so much for the opportunity.
Do you have any questions?
I just have one simple question for the, so it's been said many times that these bags are not recyclable. So what actually is the truth about these plastic bags? Can they be recycled? And why is it?
All the
Is
time.
it simply that it's expensive? What can we do?
When I was across the street by in 2014, his name was Mark Daniels. He was chief something for Novalex. It was the largest manufacturer in the United States. And he came, I was sitting right next to him like this, and he testified at that point that they were bringing back bags in the truckloads. I think they have 8 places across the country. Bringing them back in truckloads because they put bins in thousands of stores.
Right.
Bringing them back, melting them down, cleaning it somehow or other, or maybe because it's at such a high temperature, it melts it down, and they're able to make bags out of it. Everybody here was saying it's 8%, 10%, 15%. Listen, nothing is perfect in life. How about, excuse me, I just mentioned before, Pampers. They cannot be recycled totally. It's just too dirty. Garbage bags, right? Garbage bags, you take the garbage bag, you're throwing it into the landfill. They're busy talking about shopping bags that it's $12.5 million and it's so many bags. What about the garbage bags? They're 4 times as thick as the 10 times as thick as the shopping bag. They're 400 times bigger, and they're stuffing up the landfills with that. So why, I mean, again, why are you picking on that when something can be recycled? They built in Hurricane Sandy.
One minute.
Go ahead.
Does anyone else know response to Senator Savino's question?
We at Superbag, we do recycle the material. You can recycle internal plastic material back into bags or post-industrial material back into bags. Any type of film that's polyethylene film, which includes overwraps, shrink film, or plastic bags, can be recycled into new bags. It could also be recycled to other items, as you heard somebody previously talk about decking, composite decking.
Right.
So it can be
Trex.
done for other things. Right, Trex, but it can be done into bags. And we need more material. So we want the more material because a customer is asking us, give us post-consumer recycled material.
Right.
And we'll do
What about
it.
your bags?
It's very simple to do. It's very simple to do. All of the, we have, our plant on Long Island generates scrap. We have waste product from our printing presses and our bag machines. They all go into bins. We bale up all of our scrap waste, make 5,000-pound bales out of it, and send it to a reprocessor. He reprocesses it, melts it down, cleans all the resin out, and then it goes to our extrusion plant in New Jersey where we make garbage bags out of it, 100% of it. The problem is we don't have enough scrap. We buy recycled scrap on the outside.
Wait, so do you actually sell bags as well? You sell plastic bags as well? So now, you all sell plastic bags. You provide them to supermarkets and retail establishments. Do you sell different grade bags to different retailers, like liquors? Because there's a suggestion that liquor stores are won't have to pay here. And
Well, that's part of the absurdity. A
Yes.
plastic bag is a plastic bag.
That's what I said.
How would you eliminate a dry cleaning bag and include a food store bag? It's the same gauge, it's the same thickness. If it clogs the sewers, it clogs the sewers.
that was what I didn't understand.
So all of it is a generic material. It's all polyethylene. There are different types of polyethylene, but you can commingle those polyethylenes, regrind them up, and make something else out of them. You could even take bottles and grind it up with the plastic bags. Now, Superbag's in a slightly different business than my company. I think you specialize more in supermarket bags, lighter gauge.
Well, we We manufacture the gauge whatever the customer wants.
Mm-hmm.
So we can go up or go down depending upon whatever, what the customer desires.
My company more specializes in shopping mall bags, so they tend to be a heavier weight, a thicker gauge, we call it. Whereas supermarket bag could be 1 mil. We're making bags that are 1 3/4 or 2.5 mil. So they're more durable. They have handles usually. They're printed with a nice design. They're designed to be reused. All of our bags are not. I mean, no bag is a single-use bag. It's an absurd notion. Everybody uses them for something else. No one throws them away. We all have little drawers in our houses that we have bags. So there's no such thing as a single-use bag. I don't care what it is. People save these things and use them again. And if you one extra use or 2 extra uses is huge. To look at these reusable bags that they have, these non-woven totes, 99% of them are made of polypropylene. They're made of plastic. So to say that those are environmentally friendly is absurd. They're not recyclable. Hardly any of them are made in this country. 99% of them are made in China. And they're a sewn product. They're a labor-intensive product. So they can't be made here profitably. So they're made out of plastic. You throw one of those away, it's like throwing away 100 supermarket bags. So
Not a lot was touched on about the issue of retail stores that are not food stores.
sure, the retailers are going crazy with this.
This also affects clothing stores.
Everybody,
Everything.
I'm still not sure.
except the
Senator-
dry cleaners, not the dry.
I'm still not sure how they define a pharmacy, because in New York City, a pharmacy is CVS, it's Walgreens, and CVS and Walgreens now also carry groceries. So if you buy your groceries if you go downstairs to Duane Reade right now, it's practically a superette. So if you do your grocery shopping in Duane Reade, does that also apply to the plastic bags that they put your other than drugs in? Do you have to pay a fee for those, or is it just what you get at the pharmacy counter? Or if you take your items to the pharmacy counter and pay for them at the pharmacy counter, do you have to pay the 5 cents there?
They're all good questions.
I don't know. See?
Can I just,
So,
okay.
I'd just like to say that pursuant to state law, there is a film plastic recycling requirement.
Right.
So that the state law just was passed, I don't know, a couple of years ago to mirror the New York City. So we do provide recycling of that type of material, which also includes, of course, we get food wrapped in the big shrink wraps and things like that. So
Who picks up the bins? And because I do notice them in some stores, some of the larger stores, like a CVS, a Duane Reade, you'll see the box outside, assuming you pay attention.
Yeah.
So if I'm conscientious enough to bring back my plastic bags that I had there,
Right.
and I stick them in the bin, what happens to them after that? Where do they go?
it goes back to the contractor that the store works with to bring back recyclables. Really.
And they recycle them, right?
Presumably, and I know there's different grades, and there's exactly what it gets turned into. We've heard different things that it can be different types, but yeah, the idea is recycling.
Okay, I want to thank you all for coming. No. I want to thank you all for coming, and especially the last panel. You waited till the very end. Appreciate it very much. And of course, I want to thank the staff for putting in all this effort for this hearing. Have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you very much.
Can I just say one thing?